Live from WTEN, this is News 10 at 5.
It sounds good. Ankle bracelets and satellite surveillance of sex offenders approved last night by Albany County. But there are real questions about how many sex offenders the system will track. John McLaughlin has the details.
Consider this. If Albany County's new sex offender surveillance were in effect right now, using ankle bracelets and global positioning to track every move by the most serious offenders, a grand total of just 16. 16 of the 218 Level 2 and Level 3 sex offenders living in Albany County would get the bracelets. Folks were surprised when I told them that.
We're not really handling the full masses that should be surveillance.
I think they need to broaden it to 100%.
It's unfortunate, but this is all we can do.
Albany County lawmaker Gary Demolowitz, one of the prime sponsors, as the county legislature approves electronic tracking for serious sex offenders who were granted probation by county judges. But it does not affect the vast majority of serious sex offenders who are under state control.
And it's unfortunate, and I hope the state of New York and the state assembly and Senate step up to the plate.
Consider also that the bracelets cost $150 a month per sex offender. Here in Rensselaer County, lawmakers are talking about appropriating $10,000. That's enough money to pay for only 5 or 6 of the 145 Level 2 and Level 3 offenders living in the county. Do you still think that this is important?
Yes, anybody convicted from here on in is very important.
Still, it's pretty apparent that without a statewide tracking system, this local approach is piecemeal at best. And so far, both houses of the state legislature simply cannot agree on whether to place ankle bracelets on sex offenders. Live in the newsroom, John McLaughlin, News 10.
Planned Parenthood announced today it'll be moving its Schenectady facility sometime next year. The move is in response to an increased demand for services, but there's another reason for it, and that is security. Now, this is Planned Parenthood's current facility on Union Street. Right now, patients have to get out of their vehicles and walk to the front of the facility. The front door is right here. On some days, that means they have to walk right through groups of protesters on the sidewalk out in front. As Scott Patterson tells us, the confrontations can get ugly.
It's a well-known fact. The abortion debate evokes very strong emotions on both sides. And many times, demonstrations like these can be intense. But Planned Parenthood says in recent years it's gone too far at their Schenectady headquarters, like the time a 5-year-old and 6-year-old, both victims of sexual assault, were heading inside for therapy.
They were forced to walk by the line of picketers, and the picketers don't discriminate in terms of who they yell at. They yell at everybody who comes in the building. Things like, if you go in that building, you're going to be a bad person. They kill babies like you in that building.
The kids were further traumatized, not understanding why they were being shouted at.
I asked the picketers to calm down when young children were entering the building, and they basically refused and said, how will they learn anything if we don't yell the truth at them?
It was then that Planned Parenthood realized they needed a safer facility, and they found it here at 1040 State Street. The much larger building will be renovated over the next year. Plus, it has an entrance away from the sidewalk and protesters.
It will allow us to offer services to more patients, and it will allow us to offer services to our patients in a way that protects their dignity and privacy.
And we tried to contact some pro-life groups about Planned Parenthood's planned move, but our calls were not returned. The new facility has a price tag of $2.6 million, much of which will be paid for by donations. Scott Patterson, News 10.
Less than 48 hours after the death of Peter Jennings, another well-known celebrity has announced she has lung cancer. Dana Reeve, wife of the late Christopher Reeve, says she's been diagnosed with lung cancer and is currently undergoing treatment. Reeve says she's optimistic about her prognosis. She spent 9 years caring for her husband after he was paralyzed in a horse riding accident. He passed away last year. Reeve says she has never smoked. Well, the fact that Dana Reeve has never smoked may leave you wondering how she got the disease. We'll take a look at this. Popular belief aside, lung cancer is the #1 cancer killer of women. In fact, if you add up all the women killed from breast, ovarian, and uterine cancer, it would not equal the number killed by lung cancer. Something you may find even more surprising, 10 to 15% of lung cancer victims have never smoked. And women are 2 to 3 times more likely to develop the disease than men. But experts say the statistics aren't likely to keep people from making a choice that could kill them. Tanisha Millette explains.
Well, Terry, you would think the death of Peter Jennings and Dana Reeves' announcement would give even the most hardcore smoker pause before picking up that next cigarette. But for some, the news makes no difference. Still, the American Cancer Society says it will use the attention now focused on the disease to get people to stop smoking. While some, like smoker Brian Elpler, says they won't quit, the American Cancer Society says they are able to get through to others.
I've had a family member who came under with cancer from smoking, and but it still doesn't affect me.
I mean, I think just from the attention that the Jennings story has gotten today, a number of people have raised their awareness, and I do believe that probably some people will stop smoking as a result of it right now, right today.
Well, the American Cancer Society also says keep this in mind. As soon as you stop smoking, your body immediately starts to repair itself. Tanisha Millette, News 10.
A man accused of running down a woman leaving the Dave Matthews Band concert in Saratoga Springs could soon be out on bail. Over the objections of the Saratoga County DA's office, the judge in the case set bail at $25,000 cash or $50,000 bond. 30-year-old Alexander Bennett of East Line Road in Ballston Lake is accused of hitting and killing a New Jersey woman last month. Prosecutors say Bennett had a blood alcohol level of 0.25, triple the legal limit. When officers caught up with him about an hour after the crash, they didn't connect him to the fatal hit and run for days after that. The Space Shuttle Discovery is home tonight after a picture-perfect landing in California. The original landing site at Kennedy Space Center in Florida had to be scrubbed early this morning due to bad weather, but 3 hours later, at 8:12 to be exact, the shuttle touched down without incident in the Mojave Desert. The Discovery crew examined the shuttle after touching down. Commander Eileen Collins, who hails from Elmira, says the craft looks fantastic. But there's still one more trip for this mission. The shuttle needs to be taken back to Florida. Now, to do that, it's going to have to be mounted on top of a 747 and flown back, piggyback style, just like that. The trip will require several stops along the way and will take place sometime next week. NASA engineers will head to California tomorrow to start that process. Some local children are now on their way to Germany for World Youth Day, where they'll join with kids from around the globe and even have a chance to see the Pope. News 10's Dory Marlin was at their send-off this morning and has more.
In Rensselaer, these teens say goodbye to their families, knowing that when they return home in 2 weeks, they will not be the same.
Everything will be new. I'm sure I'll change from it.
They're just 12 of the million kids from around the world gathering in Germany for this year's World Youth Day. One event with one purpose, to share the Catholic faith.
I know we're going to meet some great people, and we're going to be able to bond through our faith and through all of our similar interests.
They step out of their own provincial experience of, say, the Diocese or Church of Albany or the city of Rensselaer, and they experience church. They experience what it means to be Catholic on a worldwide level.
Along with the chance to see a new country, they'll also get a chance to see a new pope. German-born Cardinal Joseph Ratzinger, now Pope Benedict XVI. In fact, this group from the Diocese of Albany represents a first. The first group locally to be in the new Pope's presence.
The number of people that see him every day just gives him a certain amount of energy that, you can just feel when you're in his presence. And I expect to feel that.
I'm never going to be able to go to Germany again, and this is a new Pope, a German Pope, and it's really something that each of us is going to remember for the rest of our lives.
High expectations and anticipation as they leave to catch their flight.
There are no words to describe the feeling.
In Rensselaer, Dory Marlin, News 10.
Well, the group is set to tour Germany for 8 days, then meet up with others in the city of Cologne for the event itself, which runs another 5 days, and that is where they will finally get to see the Pope. Well, it's been the crows that have been the culprit when it comes to West Nile virus, but now new findings are pointing to a different bird to watch out for. We can tell you about that, plus firefighters, teachers, and city workers. A new study says skyrocketing housing prices are putting a home out of reach for those people and many more.
All right, more heat and humidity. Notice the Doppler radar. At least tonight, most of the showers and thunderstorms will stay to our south.
Terry McSweeney, Elisa Streeter, Chief Meteorologist Steve Caparizzo. You're watching News 10 at 5.
It's the king of all a-thons. Hey, folks, Tom Park with the huge man himself, and it's back, Billy.
I'll tell you, a lot of things are back. The track season's back. Everybody's up in Saratoga having a good time. And you want to talk about car stuff? Now's the time to buy. With gas prices away, They are. A Hyundai is a value vehicle, Tom.
How many are we going to sell?
We're going to sell 1,000.
Yeah.
Our goal's 1,000. We got over 1,200 available.
1,200?
Over 1,200.
And 28 different lenders.
And that's what it's all about.
Huge-a-thon 1,000. You know what it is.
Huge.
Thank you.
How are the others?
Wonderful. Excellent.
Oh, yeah, thank you.
The 2%? That's great. Madam?
Oh, please.
Honey Nut Cheerios. When you want something that tastes great and can help lower cholesterol,
Compliments of the chef.
the choice is obvious.
Honey Nut Cheerios. Be happy, be healthy.
The humongous savings store. Huck Finn's Warehouse and more.
You've always loved Huck's Back to School sale. This year it's humongous. Desks and bookcases. Huck's got more than anywhere in your choice of finished or unfinished. Storage and stuff. Crates and bins piled high and priced low. Storage cabinets too. Beds and bedding. Warehouse prices on futons, day beds, bunk beds, and tons of famous maker bedding.
The humongous savings store. More than anywhere. Huck Finn's Warehouse and more.
Honey, that dog doesn't even like carrots.
It's called Mom Vision.
They're on your desk.
The ability to see things that others can't, even on dishes.
Oh, thanks, honey. Hey, looks clean. But let's try this.
Introducing Dawn with Bleach Alternative. Powers away unseen food residue. You might not see it, but Mom knows it's there. And now, she knows it's taken care of. New Dawn with Bleach Alternative. A drop of Dawn and grease is gone.
Put it back.
Now, your Storm Tracker forecast with Chief Meteorologist Steve Caparizzo.
Howdy, welcome back. Another day with high humidity and very warm temperatures, but no widespread showers and thunderstorms like we had in parts of the area last night. So for most of us, should be a nice evening if you're heading out. Maybe a little barbecue weather so the house doesn't heat up. Let's check the forecast first. 8 p.m., partly sunny, more or less hazy sun than anything else with the high humidity about 80. And at midnight, partly cloudy and 73, and once again another muggy start to the day tomorrow with hazy sun, a little patchy fog and haze, and 71 degrees. Okay, outside right now we have hazy sun, 86, that's the high for the day with the south wind at 12 miles per hour. Let's check some of the other temperatures out at 5 o'clock this afternoon. It's warm everywhere and high levels of humidity. Albany at 86, 86 at Glens Falls. At Schenectady, it's 88, Utica 87, 84 this hour at Poughkeepsie, a little bit more comfortable out in the Berkshires, 80 at Pittsfield, 83 at North Adams and Bennington, Rutland 82, and up at the high peaks at Saranac Lake, it's 81. Now, these are the dew point temperatures. Again, the higher this number, the muggier, the more uncomfortable it is. When it gets up to 70, that's oppressive. Dew point right now is 68 in Albany, 68 at Boston. Notice as you head south where the dew point's 70 at Baltimore, so there's a lot of humidity across the entire Northeast, and that's not going to change for the next, at least the next 24 to 36 hours. Maybe a little relief here on Friday. A lot of high clouds across upstate New York with the showers off to the south of us, and again, not nearly as many as we had at this time yesterday. Weak cool front in the Great Lakes producing some thunderstorms up in the UP of Michigan and across parts of Ontario. This is the front that may offer us a little bit less humidity late Thursday into Friday. Here's our futurecast. Through the night, skies will average out partly cloudy. The old weather sandwich at 7 a.m. Clouds off to the south and clouds off to the northwest of us. We'll have hazy sun, a hot, humid day on Wednesday. Now, this will be the leading edge of that weak cool front that will be closing in on us during Thursday morning. There may be a narrow strip of showers and maybe a couple of thunderstorms during the day Thursday, but it's not going to be a washout. Check out the dew points and watch the scale here. As you get up into that dark green and orangish yellow, that's oppressive. Dew point 66 at 7 a.m. And guess what? It stays high all day Wednesday. In fact, the dew point at 7 p.m., 68. So you're going to feel that heat tomorrow. And notice the temperatures. Tomorrow morning starting out close to 70 at 7 a.m. and rising into the upper 80s, the high temperature around 88 to 90. All right, forecast for tonight, 68, and for tomorrow, upper 80s, few spots 90 with hazy sunshine. And your 7-day forecast, chance of that shower or storm Thursday, Some hazy sun, 87. A little bit better Friday, 86. And warm on Saturday, 88. A better chance of showers or thunderstorms Sunday, and 83. It's here for much of the week.
I like summer.
We need some rain now.
All right.
It's been drying out.
All right, Steve.
All right.
Finding that a new home is out of your price range, you are so not alone. A new study released today finds that while home prices have jumped 20% in the last 18 months, salaries for most jobs have increased only slightly or not at all. And that means for most workers, especially teachers and firefighters, a home is now out of reach. The study says homeowners must earn at least $71,000 a year to afford a $225,000 mortgage. Another Fed meeting, another interest rate hike. The Fed has hiked the federal funds rate by another 1/4 percentage point to 3.5%. This is the 10th increase since the rate started moving higher last summer and brings the interest rate to the highest level since August of 2001. The housing market and rising interest rates on the mind of President Bush today as he met with his economic advisors. The president says he is worried about rising health care and energy costs. He says it's up to Congress to be fiscally responsible and pass legislation on the table, including simplifying the tax code, reforming medical liability, and Social Security.
There's still some challenges to the economy, and it's important for the American people to know we understand there are challenges and we're acting to meet them.
Despite the warning, President Bush says most Americans are working and the economy is growing. Schenectady County Community College says it needs to expand. Tonight, the legislature will make a crucial decision that could make it or break it for the college's plans. Plus, AAA confirms what most of us already know. Gas prices are at an all-time high again. We'll let you know if there's any relief in sight. But first, interest rates helped boost Wall Street. The Dow gained 78, and the NASDAQ added nearly 10.
At Filene's August sale, save 25 to 50% store-wide. Bohemian looks are $19.99 to $29.99. Clogs are on sale. $27.99 buys you young men's fit Levi's jeans. Savings soar with your shopping pass. Only at Filene's.
If you want the best deal on America's best-selling boats, you go to America's best marine dealership, Alpenhaus Marine, during the 05 Tracker Closeout. Get unmatched values on Tracker's advanced designs, cutting-edge manufacturing, and outstanding performance. All Trackers closeout priced. Tracker fishing, Sun Tracker pontoon boats, Tahoe runabouts, and Nitro Performance bass boats, all closeout priced. The lowest prices and the best financing rates are here during the 05 Tracker Closeout. Only at Alpenhaus Marine, your authorized Tracker boats dealer. Best brands, best selection, best prices.
Cinderella rock never stops. Prepare yourself for the summer's biggest rock show, featuring Cinderella. Together live, special guests Red, Quiet Riot, and Firehouse. August 10th at the Palace Theater. Tickets are on sale at the box office or online at palacealbany.com or call 518-476-1000. Tickets also at Ticketmaster locations.
Have you heard about Waste Watcher beverages? No? Well, let me tell you. Waste Watcher beverages come in a great variety of flavors to choose from, like black cherry, citrus frost, and vanilla cream. And all their flavors are absolutely sugar-free, meaning 0 calories and 0 carbs. Plus, Waste Watcher beverages are caffeine and sodium-free and contain no aspartame. What Waste Watcher beverages does have is taste. Great taste, sweetened with Splenda brand sweetener for flavor that won't go to waste. Try Waste Watcher beverages today and see which flavor your waste will look good in.
Introducing the House Beautiful Home Collection, on sale during Filene's August sale. An all-new designer line with the most colorful bedding and the freshest towels. All designed with quality and style normally found in products costing twice as much. On sale, exclusively at Filene's.
Nearly 150 new state troopers will be patrolling the state of New York. The new troopers graduated from the State Police Academy and were honored in a ceremony held at the Empire State Plaza in Albany today. The troopers will, of course, fight crime and will also help fight terrorism.
Whether it's patrolling the subways, whether it's guarding the northern border, whether it's investigating murder cases or street gangs or drug cartels or terrorists, you have the most exciting, you have the widest wingspan of any police agency anywhere in America, and that's what makes what you do so special.
The new graduates will report for field duty August 15th, where they will be trained by senior officers. $18.6 million. That's what the Niskayuna School District says it needs to fix 2 schools. The plan to fix both of the district's middle schools was outlined at a meeting last night. Just over 2/3 of that money would pay for a new heating and cooling system at the Van Antwerp Middle School. The proposal is just part of a plan to fix up all the buildings in the district. That plan could cost taxpayers up to $100 million. Growing pains also being suffered in Schenectady County. The legislature there is set to approve the $200,000 purchase of nearly an acre of downtown land from AAA Northway tonight. The college plans on using the land to expand its facilities. Possible uses for the land include a dorm, office space, and parking. The move will require the Washington Avenue ramp from 890 to be reconfigured. Some more tech jobs are on their way to Schenectady. Tailwind Associates, which currently has offices in both Albany and Amsterdam, is consolidating into one office and heading to the Electric City. The business will lease space at 1462 Erie Boulevard. Workers are expected to be in place by fall. The Metroplex Development Authority will give Tailwind a $35,000 relocation grant as well as a $50,000 low-interest loan. The Rensselaer County Legislature will also decide tonight whether or not to ask the federal government for money to help pay for security at the Amtrak station. Tens of thousands of passengers use the station every year. In fact, the Rensselaer station is the 10th busiest in the USA. And the money would be used to supplement the security measures already put into place by the Sheriff's Department. Crows may not be the main culprit after all. A new study finds that the beloved American red robin may be the more potent source for West Nile virus. The robin instead of the crow. Oh my. Blood drawn from 300 mosquitoes over 3 years found 40% had bitten the robin. Only 1% had bitten the crow. The findings are being turned over to the CDC. British investigators question one of the suspects in the country's subway bombings, and you won't believe what he says was the intent of the acts of terror. Plus, she says she's staying until the president comes out and answers for her son's death. We'll have one mother's request.
Expect the heat and humidity to continue. The old weather sandwich here. Clouds to the south, clouds to the west. Will be right in between tomorrow.
Men and women who build our homes and workplaces do so at great risk.
Falls from the roofs, injuries from falling objects are far too common.
That's why construction injuries need special treatment under the law. We know. We're Martin, Harding, and Mazzotti.
We've helped hundreds of injured construction workers get the money they need to pay their bills and keep their families together.
Don't lose all you work for over a work injury. Call us, because every case deserves a heavy hitter.
The heavy hitters do it again. Call 1-800-LAW-1010.
Lobsters aren't red until they're cooked. On a lobster, the color red looks great, but not on people. Sunburns don't just sting. Each year there are 1 million new cases of skin cancer diagnosed. Just one bad sunburn as a child can lead to melanoma later in life. The best line of defense is to educate kids on the importance of sun protection. Keep it covered. Your skin will thank you for life. This message is brought to you by New York Oncology Hematology. Premier cancer care, close to home.
Well, he's not wasting any time here, Chuck. He's really working that bed frame. Looking for a big dismount, and he nails it. Look at that pillow placement. I'm getting sleepy just watching it. Hey, wake up. Wake up.
Posturepedic twin mattresses are just $139, and queen sets are only $5.99. And get free next day delivery. Only at the Sealy Sleep Centers at Raymore and Flanagan.
Some people have a sweet tooth.
Ranch!
Me? I've got a ranch tooth.
Ranch? 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 Ranch!
I get these insane cravings for Wendy's Monterey Ranch sandwiches.
Ranch.
I mean, it's way out of control.
Ranch.
Tell your stupid ranch tooth to shut up!
Ranch.
Wendy's Monterey Ranch Chicken and Cheeseburger. Creamy ranch with bacon and Monterey Jack. Now for a limited time.
Ranch.
Do Wendy's. Do what tastes right.
One of the suspected London bombers has reportedly been questioned by investigators in Italy. A lawyer for Hamdi Isaac says British officials focused their questions on the circumstances surrounding the July 21st bombings and the reasons behind them. Isaac says the bombs were only meant to scare people, not to kill them. Isaac was arrested last month in Rome and is being held on international terror charges. Britain is seeking to extradite him. Meanwhile, another bombing suspect has been released. An Egyptian chemist who had been held by police in Egypt in connection with the London attacks, has been cleared. Magdi El-Nashar says he knows the bombers, but only casually. El-Nashar's family is demanding British officials publicly declare his innocence. Iraqi police continue to be the targets of insurgents. So far, 4 attacks on Iraqi police officers today have killed a total of 10. 2 carloads of gunmen ambushed an Iraqi police patrol in one incident, gunning down 5 officers. In another attack, a suicide car bombing killed at least 5 Iraqi civilians. Police say a driver blew up his vehicle near a U.S. convoy in the heart of Baghdad. It is day 4 in Crawford, Texas, for a mother who says she is not leaving until President Bush comes out and answers for the death of her son. Cindy Sheehan's son Casey was killed in an ambush during the Shiite rebellion in Sadr City. She says she believed her son died for a noble cause until questions were raised about the case built for going to war. While many Americans have spoken out against the war in Iraq, few of them have been military moms.
I just want to say that our children are being honored, and a lot of them died saving their buddies.
So far, Sheehan has spoken with the National Security Advisor and the Deputy White House Chief of Staff. A solemn moment in Japan today to remember the bombing of Nagasaki. Survivors and activists gathered in the Japanese city today to mark the moment when more than 61,000 people died. The attack came 3 days after the first atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima. Nagasaki's mayor used the event to call for a ban on nuclear weapons across the globe. There's good news and bad news for drivers filling up at the pump. Government analysts said today the supply of gas looks good through Labor Day, but that doesn't mean there's going to be relief at the pump. Prices across the country hit a new record high today, $2.37 a gallon. $2.37 for a gallon of regular. But what some could consider a bright spot, analysts say prices have jumped 20 cents in the past 2 weeks for suppliers, and not all of that has been passed on to drivers. New York takes aim at one of the nation's biggest spammers and wins. We'll tell you what the computer whiz will have to pay. Plus, it's a major sport around the U.S., but one major magazine is giving the capital region a failing grade.
No Venetian blinds. That's why Geico.com is so simple. Or is it because you can get help if you need it and get a free rate quote in minutes? 15 minutes could save you 15% on car insurance. Simple as that.
Rumor Salon and Day Spa, you're more than our client, you're our guest. Let our highly educated team of designers give you a look that's fresh and new or glamorous and avant-garde. Enjoy 5-star service in an elegant, relaxing atmosphere. Rumor Salon and Day Spa, New Loudon Road, Latham.
Rumors for men, dedicated to excellence in superior masculine grooming, because today's successful man has to look and feel his best. Voted best men's salon in the capital region. Rumors for Men, New Loudon Road, Latham. Get the winning image you deserve.
I hear something. A thump, a thump, a thump.
That's my heart talking to you.
Does it ever say anything else?
If you want to keep your heart healthy, Cheerios, made from all natural whole grain oats, is the only leading cold cereal clinically proven to lower cholesterol.
I hear corp, corp.
That's my stomach.
Your stomach talks too?
Mm-hmm. Look for the General Mills whole grain guarantee.
It's Hyundai summer clearance, so save the dates to save big, like up to $4,000 cash back on select models. Days are flying by to save on models across the lot, like the V6 Hyundai Santa Fe. And don't forget, Hyundai's award-winning quality lets us offer America's best warranty. So circle the dates for up to $4,000 cash back. Don't miss this once-a-year opportunity at Hyundai. During Hyundai's summer clearance, get up to $4,000 cash back on models across the lot.
It's a humongous opportunity buy of the week. Game tables, Texas Hold'em, poker, and more at warehouse prices.
Huckfin's Warehouse and more.
Planning on hitting the link sometime soon? Well, Golfing Magazine says you might want to look outside of the capital region. The Albany, Schenectady, Troy metropolitan area fared poorly in Golf Digest's new survey of the best areas for golfers. The Capital District finished number 290 out of 330. The rankings were based on access to courses, holes per capita, affordability, weather, and quality of golf. The Glens Falls metro area finished 121st. Spam is annoying for most computer users. Now it's become downright costly. A man accused of being one of the top 3 spammers in the world has settled a lawsuit with Microsoft, agreeing to pay $7 million. Microsoft says it will use most of that money to fight spam and other computer misuse. Spammer Scott Richter is also facing a lawsuit brought by New York State, but probably won't get anything for the state because he's filed for bankruptcy. You have a news story, you see news happening, 1-800-888-WTEN. News 10 at 5:30 starts right now.
Live from WTEN, Tracy Egan, Chief Meteorologist Steve Caparizzo. This is News 10 at 5:30.
Emergency first responders in Saratoga County call their own emergency with claims of problems in the 911 system that could cost lives. Christy Mazurek has details.
04, 60-year-old female, difficulty in breathing.
Every second counts.
Fire Control Half Moon Base, KNGN 541.
But for many months, the Half Moon Fire District has been battling more than the clock when it comes to rescue calls.
At times, some of our fire personnel do get the pager tones go out, some don't. At times, we have to call the county on phone, ask them, do we have a fire call?
And the problems with the communications continue to crop up. In recent weeks, the whole system shut down, forcing fire departments to call on the phone to find out what calls are coming through. And even when they finally get to the scene, talk is still troublesome.
I had a motor vehicle accident. A quarter mile down the road was my assistant chief trying to set up a landing zone. We couldn't even talk to each other.
Now emergency crews are calling on county officials once again to start talking with each other and push a plan through to start making upgrades.
We are fully aware of that. We put $8 million aside as a county-wide project. Has been an all-for-one, one-for-all agenda.
But with the latest breakdowns, rescue workers feel the county needs to come to the rescue sooner before the halt in communications halts a life.
Somebody can die here, without us being there to respond right away.
Now, another major hurdle to clear up communications is a vote by the Adirondack Park Agency to allow the construction of towers that would help radio chatter in the northern part of the county. The concern is the APA will hold off on the project. That vote happens later this week. We spoke with reps from the APA who claim they have an alternative plan to the proposed towers, one that, according to them, would not wreak havoc visually or environmentally to the mountaintops. Stay tuned. We'll be following up and let you know how this plan moves forward. Christy Mazurek, News 10.
A major phone relay service for the deaf based right here in New York says they're having trouble getting people to take their calls. The New York Relay Service helps people with text phones communicate with people on standard voice connections. The problem is when people hear the company's name, they hang up, assuming they're being solicited by a telemarketer. The company has launched a public awareness campaign urging people to stay on the line. The New York Relay Service handles more than 2 million calls per year. Well, we turn now to Steve Caprizzo for our first look at the weather. Steve.
All right, Elisa, another sticky night with haze and humidity. We're going to have to deal with that for the next 24 hours. Might have a little bit of break coming in here Friday. And one thing I do want to mention that it is getting dry. We've had very little rainfall in the capital region during this entire month of August so far. In fact, 1/100th of an inch. And that's it. Let's take a look outside. These are some shots as you head up north of the Twin Bridges in southern Saratoga County, just north of the Mohawk Valley. And you can actually see with this camera shot the haze that is making the trees look a little bit fuzzy. So again, a lot of humidity and a lot of haze. Let's check the forecast. For tonight, muggy weather, 68, and for tomorrow, hazy sun, hot and humid, a high of 89. There's a slightest chance of a thunderstorm in a few places, a south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. All right, tomorrow some of you may be heading up to the racetrack at Saratoga, partly sunny, a post-time temperature at 1 p.m. 85 with high humidity, and a south wind 5 to 10 miles per hour. It should be a fast track for the horses, a slow track for people walking around. We'll have much more in the forecast coming up later in the newscast. Elisa?
The case against 2 Albany mosque leaders accused of supporting terrorism is finally picking up steam in federal court. It's looking like it could go to trial within the next 6 months. Steve Ammerman was in court today and has more.
Suspects Mohammed Hussein and Yosin Arif head into federal court in Albany with a better idea when their fate will be decided, likely in the first part of next year. Judge Thomas McAvoy telling them he is happy the case is finally moving along after months of delays. Delays stemming from prosecutors having to pour over mounds of evidence they believe is sensitive to national security.
The government's been good. They've been forthcoming.
Terry Kinlan and fellow defense attorney Kevin Lewebrand should receive their security clearance by next week, with all the classified evidence handed over to them by early October. Their clients are accused of supporting terrorists through a fake money laundering scheme created by the government. Kinlan's client, RF, forced to wear an ankle monitoring bracelet while he awaits trial.
He is an eternal optimist, though, and he's really managed to keep his chin up in a very positive attitude. So it's been grueling for him, but he's made the most of it, and he's actually doing quite well.
Pizza shop owner Hossein and his attorney did not comment as they left court, but a mosque spokesperson says they find solace in their religion.
I think this is something we have to keep patience with. You know, Muslims we believe in the afterlife and the hereafter. And after this life is over, there'll be a judgment and everybody will have their fair justice.
Before the court proceeding, there was some speculation that new charges could be filed against RF and the opening of an unsealed indictment, but that didn't happen. However, his attorney, Terry Kinlan, says in a federal case, it's still possible. It's just a wait-and-see attitude as this case moves forward. In the federal courthouse in Albany, Steve Ammerman, News 10.
Some Capital Region researchers have been tapped to help in the war on terror. Doctors George Drusano and Arnold Louie of the Ordway Research Institute in Albany are getting more than $9 million in federal money to work on strategies to deal with biological attacks. The Institute is calling the grant a major step forward, establishing the Capital Region as a center of biodefense research. The doctors will be working with anthrax and the plague to figure out how to neutralize their effectiveness as weapons.
The bacteria which I'm working with, which causes anthrax and plague, are mutants, and that they cannot cause disease in people or in animals, so there's no safety issues to the community at large.
The grant is expected to keep the Ordway team up and running for the next 5 years. Some top state lawmakers are calling for more teacher training to cut down on sex scandals involving instructors and students. Several senators are pledging to act after the publication of a report that found most public teachers and administrators who had their licenses revoked were accused of having sex with students. In many cases, the relationships went undetected or unreported for years. The lawmakers say teachers need to be taught how to spot problems and report them promptly. Janine Pirro's website contains plenty of information about the DA from Westchester County, but not a whole lot on her husband. Pirro announced yesterday she will seek the Republican nomination in next year's U.S. Senate race. JaninePirro.com has pictures of her with her mom, her kindergarten teacher, even a monkey, but not one of them with her husband. Albert Pirro spent nearly a year in prison for tax fraud. She says his legal problems have nothing to do with her. Pirro's opponent, Senator Hillary Clinton, hasn't always placed her famous husband front and center either, but President Bill Clinton does appear in at least 9 photos on HillaryClinton.com. The Discovery touches down safely, but how long will it be before another shuttle returns to space? We're going to take a closer look. And betting on the next big horse in Saratoga Springs. Plus, Steve Caprizzo will have your Storm Tracker forecast when we return.
Uh-oh. Here comes your migraine. Getting in between you and your life, disrupting everything. A total migraine with pain, nausea, sensitivity to light and sound. But why let it take over your life when you could target your total migraine with Imitrex? You can take Imitrex at the first sign of migraine pain. It targets the nerves and blood vessels that are believed to trigger migraine for the relief you need without drowsiness. Imitrex is not right for everyone or every migraine. If you have certain types of heart or blood vessel disease or uncontrolled blood pressure, you shouldn't take Imitrex. Very rarely, certain people, even some without heart disease, have had serious heart-related problems. So talk to your doctor, especially if you have risk factors for heart disease, such as smoking, high blood pressure, or high cholesterol, or if you're pregnant, nursing, or taking medication. Don't let a migraine disrupt your life. Ask your doctor if Imitrex is right for you. Target your total migraine and get back to your life with Imitrex.
Raymore and Flanagan has interest-free financing till 2008.
My banker says he can't match Raymore's financing, but he'll give us free checking.
I'd rather have free financing.
But he's offering a juicer.
Not juicy enough. We're getting no deposit and no interest till 2008, along with savings store-wide on famous brand names and delivery in 3 days or less.
He'll throw in a toaster and a blender.
Great. We'll call him when we open an appliance store.
Interest-free financing till 2008 ends 9 p.m. Monday at Raymore and Flanagan.
We learn early on that money can fuel our desires.
So we sacrifice, save, and spend for what we truly want. And this experience brings us joy. A joy you rediscover whenever you shop wisely. Finding the freshest, finest foods and finding them at good prices. Getting the most for your money makes you feel good. And so do other things. Discover the wonders of shopping Hannaford.
Now, your Storm Tracker forecast with Chief Meteorologist Steve Caparizzo.
Howdy, folks. Welcome back. You'll need the air conditioners or find a friend that has one, maybe a swimming pool to boot. Elisa? Let's check out, hey, go to the mall, right? This is the time to go to the mall and just walk, get your exercise, stay cool, see a movie. 68 degrees tonight. Sticky weather. The humidity is not going to break tomorrow. In fact, tomorrow will be even hotter than it has been. 89 with high humidity. It's going to feel like the mid-90s. And Thursday, there could be a couple of showers or thunderstorms, but don't change any plans. Don't cancel things. 87. And the humidity will break briefly Thursday afternoon, and hopefully it will last into Friday. It won't be quite so uncomfortable. Let's check the Storm Tracker 3D satellite picture. And what you see here, the clouds are allowing for some sun to shine through. Those are high clouds. Heavier clouds across southeastern New England down towards Connecticut. It's been a cloudy day. Boston has been cloudy. To the west, now you can just make out the cold front way up in here, up across Ontario, back through the northern Great Lakes with a line of showers and thunderstorms. The front, even though it's fairly weak, it should be arriving here by midday on Thursday. 86 in Albany, 88 Schenectady. Not bad at Pittsfield, but still humid, 80. Low 80s North Adams, Bennington up to Rutland, 81 as you head up towards Saranac Lake. Here's a big picture of the temperatures. Notice New York City actually cooler than Montreal. 83 in the city because of the clouds, 86 as you head up towards Montreal, 87 Burlington and at Messina, 89 at Syracuse, and 90 as you head west towards Rochester. These are the dew points. Upper 60s is getting close to oppressively humid. 67 the dew point in Albany and at Boston, 66 at Burlington, Vermont, 61 degree dew point, not quite as humid as you head off to the west. Now you factor in the temperature with the amount of water in the air, the humidity. This is the way it feels. We call this the temperature humidity index. So it feels 88 in Albany, but notice it feels 90 at Syracuse, and it feels even hotter. Extreme caution with very high humidity lurking just north and west of Lake Ontario. Here's our futurecast for tonight. The clouds, the high clouds will be shifting off to our south. Some clouds off to the west, and we're in the best spot here at 7 a.m. Wednesday for some sunshine. The old weather sandwich effect with clouds on both sides of us. That should continue through Wednesday at 5 p.m. Now, this is the leading edge of the clouds and moisture with that weak front. So by 8 a.m. Thursday, a narrow band of scattered showers and maybe a thunderstorm or two, but this front will be weakening as it pushes off to the southeast. Temperatures at 7 p.m. starting at 79 in Albany, 78 Schenectady, and Hudson at 82. By tomorrow morning, temperatures are going to be in the upper 60s to low 70s. And at 7 p.m. tomorrow, 85 in Albany, 88 at Hudson. Most areas flirting with 90 tomorrow, but again, it's going to feel hotter when you factor in that humidity. All right, forecast for tonight, 82 at 7 p.m., midnight 72, and at 5 a.m., mostly clear, a little bit hazy, and 68. Starting out at 71 at 7 a.m., noontime 82 with a south wind, and at 5 p.m., hazy sunshine and 89. Here's your 7-day forecast. Thursday, the chance of a shower or thunderstorm, 87, and a little bit less humid Friday, partly sunny, 86. Now, for the weekend, no washouts, so I think Saturday, chance of an afternoon thunderstorm, less than a 30% chance, 88. A better chance of a few showers and storms on Sunday, in 83. And then it turns less humid on Monday, partly sunny, and 84. Stay cool, take it easy, don't push yourself, and don't mow the lawn. We don't have much rain in the forecast. You don't want to do that now.
Okay, thanks so much, Steve. Well, coming up on News 10 at 5:30, touchdown for the Discovery astronauts. Find out about the successful ending to this historic space mission. And the cameras catch up with the runaway bride. Stay tuned.
What does your business need from a broadband provider? a reliable high-speed connection to track and fill customer orders.
To transmit data safely and securely.
Remote access for my employees who work from home.
Roadrunner Business Class, a service of Time Warner Cable, is about business first, offering customized broadband solutions with real business benefits, each fully scalable to keep pace with your changing business needs, plus local support when you need it.
What a day it's been already. I got a very...
Barb's a natural morning person. For me, morning's about as natural as my hair color.
Do you scrapbook?
No, but I found a way to get through.
Oh, McDonald's. I could really use some coffee.
Decaf, I hope.
Whatever you need to get through the morning, you'll find it at McDonald's. From Egg McMuffins and sausage, egg, and cheese McGriddles to steak bagels. No one has more choices for breakfast sandwiches.
Have a great day. And you have a great day, too.
Open 6 a.m. or earlier. Many drive-thrus open 24 hours.
Drew Sanders Custom Jewelers unveils the Evolution Collection, an exquisite display of custom designs created for their 30th anniversary. One-of-a-kind limited editions of wearable art featuring a wide array of precious gemstones in rich and vibrant colors, handcrafted in finely textured gold and platinum. Jewelry for any lifestyle to cherish a lifetime. The Evolution Collection, opening August 20th at Drew Sanders Custom Jewelers, 1675 Western Avenue, Albany.
These are the faces of women. These are the faces of women's health. You and your OBGYN. Partners in health. ACOG is the voice for women's health. ACOG is the American College of OBGYN.
A collective sigh of relief at NASA and throughout the country as the Discovery touched down safely here on Earth early this morning. The first shuttle mission since the Columbia disaster was successful, but plagued with safety concerns from the very beginning. Gloria Riviera has more.
Congratulations on a truly spectacular test flight. Welcome home, friends.
Landing in the pre-dawn darkness in the Mojave Desert, Discovery left the shadow of the Columbia disaster behind.
Today we honored the Columbia crew. And we brought Discovery home safely. It's a great day. If you want to know how I feel fantastic.
Commander Eileen Collins said she thought about the Columbia crew every day while in space, and the best way to honor them is to keep flying.
I believe the most significant is just getting the shuttle flying again. It's been 2.5 years since Columbia, and we have worked very, very hard to do the right things.
After 2 no-goes because of bad weather in Florida, Discovery diverted to California as family members in Cape Canaveral watched and waited.
Exuberant would be a good word. Very happy, a little bit relieved, and I guess a twinge disappointed that she's still, 2,500 miles away or so.
The successful landing comes after NASA spent 2.5 years and $1 billion on safety upgrades after the Columbia disaster.
It gives us momentum. It's a beginning for us. It's a new beginning. It's a fresh start. It's an important beginning for us. It's an important mission for us. It's an important milestone in the human spaceflight endeavor.
For now, a moment to celebrate and exhale.
Now the question of what next. NASA Administrator Mike Griffin says Atlantis is the next shuttle on deck, but they're not going anywhere until they're sure it's safe. Gloria Riviera at the Johnson Space Center in Houston, ABC News.
Another safety lapse at Logan Airport has federal and state aviation officials looking for answers. A cargo plane taxied across the runway that a passenger jet had been cleared to take off from yesterday, the 14th such incident since October 1st. Overall, the FAA says the Boston airport has about twice the number of runway incidents as similar-sized airports in other parts of the country. That is officials trying to figure out ways to make the runways safer. An air traffic controllers union official says Logan is cramped and the 5 runways intersect. The stakes don't get much higher than this. Racing heavyweights get ready to gamble on the next great horse coming up. And later we'll explain why Jennifer Wilbanks won't be running away from her yard work anytime soon.
It's going to be another mild and muggy night. In fact, check out 7 a.m. tomorrow morning on the Futurecast. 70 in Albany, Hudson 73, 67 at Schoharie, in Pittsfield at 68.
So some people have a sweet tooth. Me?
Ranch!
I've got a ranch tooth.
Ranch!
and I get these insane cravings for Wendy's Monterey Ranch sandwiches. Ranch! Ranch? It's way out of control.
Do you want to come up for some coffee?
Ranch! Ranch? Ranch?
Yak, 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 yak. Wendy's Monterey Ranch Chicken and Cheeseburger. Creamy ranch with bacon and Monterey Jack. Now for a limited time. Ranch. Do Wendy's. Do what tastes right.
Did you hear about my accident? I'm driving on the highway.
I wasn't looking.
Airbag goes off. Steam just popping all out of the engine.
Good thing our insurance company is Amica.
Amica's great.
At Amica, we built our business on customer referrals.
They'd help me pick out the right coverage.
And when it came time to pay the claim?
Like that.
And it was like they were happy to give me the money.
Does your insurance company do that?
Find out what everyone's talking about. Switch to the insurance company that understands it's not just how you're covered, it's how you're treated.
You gotta get Amica. Call Amica.
Call Amica today for a free, no-obligation quote.
Get more jump at the pump, Tom. That's what I'm talking about.
Gas mileage supreme on these Hyundais during Wten 1000.
Look at this. Tucson, 27 miles a gallon. Santa Fe, 27 miles a gallon. Oh, my God. XG, 26 miles a gallon. Sonata, 30 miles, 34 on the Elantra, 35 on the Accent. That's what I'm talking about, brother.
And you get a 10-year, 100,000-mile warranty. We're giving away color TVs every day. Stop by and register at Wten 1000 today.
Yeah!
It's fine at Exit 9, Wine and Liquor Warehouse.
There's only one Wine and Liquor Warehouse with the best selection with over 600 Chardonnays, Merlots, and Cabernets from around the world. The most friendly and knowledgeable staff. There's only one Wine and Liquor Warehouse with
everyday low warehouse prices.
and a shopping experience that will exceed all of your expectations.
It's fine at Exit 9, Wine and Liquor Warehouse.
Wednesday's the one. Macy's one-day sale. Look for the best savings for you, your family, and your home. Shop 9 a.m. till 11 p.m.
Coming up at 6 on News 10.
You know, it sounds like a good idea putting tracking devices on convicted sex offenders. But how effective are these local laws? I'm John McLaughlin. I'll have the story coming up on News 10.
Planned Parenthood will soon be moving into a new building here in Schenectady. I'm Scott Patterson. Coming up, we'll tell you how it's going to make patients feel more secure.
And I'm Terry McSweeney. Also tonight on News 10 at 6, it has claimed the life of ABC News anchor Peter Jennings. Today we find out Superman's widow has it. We're talking about lung cancer. And tonight we're going to ask the question, do these high-profile illnesses do anything to reduce the numbers of smokers here in the capital region? We're going to find out. Coming up on News 10 at 6. So Lisa, I'll join you out there in just a few minutes.
All right, Terry, I'll see you then. For those who gamble on the horses, these are some of the highest stakes of all. Some of the biggest names in racing are in Saratoga Springs and are ready to wager millions on the bloodlines that could produce the next Secretariat. John Craig is live in Saratoga Springs with that.
Well, Lisa, you know, on the dark day, you would wonder why we'd be up here at Saratoga, but it is because of the gambling. It is because of some hot tips, and I got a few hot tips, but I can't really share them with you. All I can tell you is that I'm in an auction, and you can be too. It'll start in a couple hours. This filly may or may not know it, but she has good bloodlines. Her dad is Distorted Humor, the same sire of Funny Side. And she's the half-sister of a stakes race winner in Saratoga, Turn of the Century. She'll be a top seller at the 85th annual Fasig-Tipton Horse Sale.
It's a public auction. It's open to the public, and we certainly encourage people to come here to watch the action. And you'll see all sorts of fireworks here. We'll be selling yearlings for in excess of $1 million here tonight.
Well, you look for an athlete and kind of coordination and a nice kind of chest area and straight legs, and when they're walking, you want to make sure they're not overstepping.
Ellen O'Connell and her husband Thomas are from Massachusetts, and with guidebook in hand, are looking at the horses and looking forward to the auction.
These horses haven't raced at all. You don't know, and you're taking a chance.
You're taking a chance, right?
Yeah.
And then there's Dick Lawson from Lexington, Kentucky, who's looking at a colt out of the Mill Ridge stables. This colt has good bloodlines as well. And he knows it when he sees it.
Good bone, good walk, nice charisma, good eye, confidence, but an athlete.
Always looking for an athlete. It'll happen about 75 of the yearlings right behind those windows down in there. People are just beginning to trickle in, and they'll get ready for tonight's auction. On the dark day at Saratoga. We are live in Saratoga Springs. John Craig, News 10.
The owner of the Schenectady tennis team, The Buzz, says only one thing is going to keep the team in the Electric City: cold, hard cash. Nidhi Singh is proposing a 5-year contract with the city in return for at least $150,000 each year. She says if the city is unwilling to meet that demand, she will take the team elsewhere. So far, Singh has been reluctant to name the cities trying to pull the team away from Schenectady, but Albany has been talked about in the past. It's safe to say she won't be skipping out on this engagement. The cameras catch up with the runaway bride as she repays her debt to society next.
It's going to be a hot, humid day on Wednesday. These are 4 p.m. temperatures, and don't forget, high humidity, so it will feel hotter. 88 in Albany, 91 at Hudson, 87 at North Adams, and up at Speculator, 84.
What's so cool when it's hot, hot, hot? 350 feet of terrifying darkness. The Black Vortex. Zoom Flume. And the exhilarating 3.5-story Mighty Anaconda. Zoom Flume. You gotta go. Where one low price gets you water, water everywhere. Zoom Flume. You gotta go. What's so cool when it's hot, hot, hot? Zoom Flume Water Park. Just 1 hour south of Albany. You gotta go.
Raymore and Flanagan has interest-free financing till 2008.
My banker says he can't match Raymore's financing, but he'll give us free checking.
I'd rather have free financing.
But he's offering a juicer.
Not juicy enough. We're getting no deposit and no interest till 2008, along with savings store-wide on famous brand names and delivery in 3 days or less.
He'll throw in a toaster and a blender.
Great. We'll call him when we open an appliance store.
Interest-free financing till 2008 ends 9 p.m. Monday at Raymore and Flanagan.
Behind that building project, behind that home improvement, you'll find one thing, and it's lumber. Whether you're a builder or a contractor, a do-it-yourselfer or a weekend carpenter, nothing is more important than starting with quality lumber. Curtis Lumber is the Capital District source for every kind of lumber need. Now with 18 convenient locations. Building projects that begin with exceptional lumber begin with Curtis Lumber.
Lantheus Grove is summer. This Latham landmark has everything you need for a great outdoor celebration. Many spacious picnic tables for relaxing, softball, volleyball, and horseshoes for summer fun. And don't forget the food. In addition to a traditional picnic menu, Lantheus Grove offers lobster and clam bakes, steak roast, and chicken barbecues. You can even get a clam bake to go for your backyard holiday picnics. For your next company picnic or family gathering, make it Lantheus Grove on Dunsback Ferry Road, just off Route 9 in Latham.
As Florida's Secretary of State during the 2000 election, she was briefly one of the most powerful public officials in the country. Now Katherine Harris is trying to climb her way back up the political ladder. You may have lost track of that famous feint since Bush versus Gore, but Harris has managed to get herself elected to Congress, and now she's running for the Senate. She says she's got the goods to beat Democratic incumbent Bill Nelson, but many in her own party say they are worried that she might be in over her head. Runaway bride Jennifer Wilbanks would probably be happy to escape the public eye for good, but you had to expect the cameras would eventually catch up with her as she began her community service sentence. Wilbanks seemed upbeat as she mowed a lawn in Georgia wearing her orange government-issued vest and diamond earrings. Correction officials say Wilbanks isn't getting any special treatment.
It's a very typical case. The Department of Corrections has some 130,000 people on probation across the state, and hers is no different than any other case.
Before she started mowing, Wilbanks was washing public vehicles. Later on, she'll be picking up trash. In all, Wilbanks has been sentenced to 120 hours of community service. Now we head over to Steve and take a look at the weather.
I can hear that. I hope you don't want to hear it. Let's take a look outside. I said something like, I hope she doesn't have a runaway lawnmower. That's all. Okay, here's the sky shot from exit 6 on the Northway. This is at routes 2 and 7. And you can see it's hazy, but it's dry, and it's going to be that way for the next 24 hours. Let's check the forecast for tonight. Partly sunny at 7 p.m. and 82. At midnight, 72. And at 5 a.m., it'll be about 68 degrees with high levels of humidity. And then tomorrow, 89, hazy sunshine, hot and humid. 87 Thursday with a slight chance of a thunderstorm, but no washouts Thursday. And the humidity may break a little bit Friday, 86. The weekend, right now, not bad. On Saturday, a hazy chance of a thunderstorm, 88. A better chance of a few showers or storms on Sunday, and 83. And then back to some comfortable weather on Monday, partly sunny, and 84. Threat of some rain here on Tuesday, and 80. That's a 7-day forecast. The news at 6 continues.
Live from WTEN, the news team that's leading the way in local news coverage. This is News 10 at 6.
No doubt it's well-intentioned, but serious questions tonight about electronic monitoring of sex offenders.
We're talking about electronic monitoring approved by Albany County last night with other counties on the way. But is it really effective? John McLaughlin has more.
Prompted by tragedies like the murder of 9-year-old Jessica Lunsford of Florida, Albany County lawmakers vote to use ankle bracelets and global positioning to track the most serious sex offenders. But consider that under Albany's program, just 16 of the 218 level 2 and level 3 sex offenders in the county would get the bracelets. Folks were surprised when I told them that.
Now, that doesn't make an awful lot of sense.
Why? Why don't they put it on everybody?
You're not even putting these devices on the most dangerous ones, only a handful.
We're putting the devices on the most dangerous ones that are under our control.
Lawmaker Gary Demolowitz says it's too bad Albany County cannot impose tracking on the vast majority of sex offenders who are under state control. Only those granted probation by county judges.
We need the state of New York to step up to the plate.
Consider also that Rensselaer and Schenectady counties are talking about $10,000 each to finance the bracelets. They cost $150 per month per sex offender. In Rensselaer County, that's enough money for only 5, maybe 6 of the 145 serious sex offenders in the county.
Actually, that number can grow by the time we put the resolution in.
I'm sure we can get the money. I think everybody in the county understands this.
Well, even if they do understand it, even if they get more money, it's apparent that county-by-county monitoring will be piecemeal at best. And so far, there's no agreement by both houses of the state legislature on electronic tracking of sex offenders. Live in the newsroom, John McLaughlin, News 10.
2 prominent members of an Albany mosque accused of supporting terrorism could go to trial early next year. That's according to U.S. District Judge Thomas McVoy. Now, this morning, McAvoy says in the years since Yassin Aref and Mohammed Hossein were arrested, federal prosecutors have now filed most of their evidence and indicated what they want kept secret. The judge has given prosecutors until October 11th to file the rest of their evidence. That tentatively leaves November and December for motions and a trial date after that.
He is an eternal optimist, though, and he's really managed to keep his chin up in a very positive attitude. So it's been grueling for him, but he's made the most of it, and he's actually doing quite well.
No new indictments were handed up today. Aref is imam at the Masjid Al-Salam Mosque in Albany, and Hossein is a mosque founder who runs an Albany pizzeria. Hossein is accused of laundering money for an FBI informant posing as a weapons dealer. Aref is accused of acting as a witness to their business deal. Well, alarming claims are coming tonight from Saratoga County rescue workers over their alarm systems. Problems with the current 911 communication system are causing shutdowns, and according to them, pleas to get them fixed are being shot down. Christy Mazurek has more. Christy.
In recent weeks, the radio system shut down across the county, cutting all rescue workers off from dispatch. This problem's been the focus of a heated debate for quite some time over how to fix the dispatch kinks. Now emergency workers claim they have an emergency and action is needed now. According to fire officials we spoke with, radio call transmissions are spotty at times, if they even come in at all. The problems continue to get worse, and rescue workers fear the worst could happen.
I had a motor vehicle accident. Quarter mile down the road was my assistant chief trying to set up a landing zone. We couldn't even talk to each other. Somebody can die here, without us being there to respond right away.
We are fully aware of that. We put $8 million aside as a county-wide project. Has been an all-for-one, one-for-all agenda.
Now, county officials tell News 10 these recent problems have them willing to revisit proposals to start small upgrades instead of just one big project. Another hurdle, though, is a vote by the Adirondack Park Agency to allow construction of towers that could help clear up communications. Reps for the APA tell News 10 the tower project would have major environmental and cosmetic effects on the area. They have an alternative plan. The group meets later this week to vote on what, if any, steps they'll allow to go forward. Christy Mazurek, News 10.
A man accused of a hit-and-run fatality in Saratoga Springs last month could soon be out on bail. Over the objections of the Saratoga County DA's office, the judge set bail at $25,000 for 30-year-old Alexander Bennett of Ballston Lake. Prosecutors say Alexander had a blood alcohol level of 0.25 when officers caught up with him about an hour, they say, after the crash, which took the life of a New Jersey woman as she was leaving a concert at SPAC. Planned Parenthood announced today it's moving. Their current Schenectady facility is overcrowded, but they also say security is a big issue. Scott Patterson joins us with the details.
Well, Terry, Planned Parenthood wants to create a buffer zone between their patients and the protesters who regularly turn out there. At their current location on Union Street in Schenectady, patients have to walk through those protesters on the public sidewalk in order to get into the building. Planned Parenthood says rape victims and child sex abuse victims have been screamed at as they tried to walk inside for counseling. Their new facility at 1040 State Street will alleviate that face-to-face contact. Patients can park in the back and then enter through a door that's well away from the sidewalk and any protesters.
It will allow us to offer services to more patients, and it will allow us to offer services to our patients in a way that protects their dignity and privacy.
The new facility has a price tag of $2.6 million. Much of that will be paid for through donations. Planned Parenthood hopes to move in about a year from now. Now, in addition to added security, the organization says it also simply needs more space. They saw their patient load increase by 15% last year alone. Now, we did try to contact local pro-life groups for comment, but our calls were not returned. Scott Patterson, News 10.
Some local kids are on their way to Germany for World Youth Day, where they will join with kids from around the globe and even have a chance to see the Pope. A group of 12 kids left from St. John the Evangelist in Rensselaer today to share their Catholic faith and possibly meet Pope Benedict XVI. While some kids have attended World Youth Day before, all of them say that this year's event holds a very special significance.
Experience, I guess. I liked it a lot when I went before, and had a lot of fun and made me feel good. The chance to see two popes in my lifetime is pretty great opportunity.
I'm never going to be able to go to Germany again, and this is a new pope, a German pope, and it's really something that each of us is going to remember for the rest of our lives.
The group is set to tour Germany for 8 days, then meet up with the millions of kids in the city of Cologne for 5 days. They will return in 2 weeks.
Just 2 days after lung cancer claimed Peter Jennings' life, another celebrity has announced she has the same disease. We'll tell you the effect the news about Dana Reeves' illness has on local people who smoke and what the American Cancer Society is doing about it.
And over 100 recruits are now bona fide state troopers. We'll tell you what's next for them as they begin to patrol all over New York State.
Another steamy 24 hours. Check out the dew points. Notice all this dark green. That means sticky weather. Dew points in the upper 60s, closing in on oppressive tomorrow afternoon.
You always want to look your best, especially when it comes to your smile. You need a dentist who can help you get that perfect smile. Dr. A.R. Winnicue is one of few New York State dentists to graduate the Las Vegas Institute, a world-renowned center for cosmetic and neuromuscular dentistry. See Dr. Winnicue for beautiful cosmetic dentistry and gentle routine care for the whole family. New patients and emergencies are always welcome. For beautiful smiles and healthy teeth, see Dr. Winnicue. His standards are as high as yours. Osborne Road, Loudonville.
We've made our reputation and enjoyed a lot of success in the courtroom. We pioneered the law in area of medical malpractice in upstate New York, products liability. We've had the highest verdicts in counties throughout the upstate region, the highest verdict in the state of New York, the first $1 million verdict, the first multi-million-dollar verdict. Our firm has certainly had its fair share of high-profile, media-intense cases, but the real work at the firm is representing individuals and families who've suffered personal injury.
Be Stuart Jones on your side.
Excuse me, I think the tube is stuck.
Okay, I'll be right there. Be right back. It's so cold out there.
Excuse me, I think the tube is stuck.
East-West Catering.
Hello, a person who is deaf or hard of hearing is calling you through New York Relay. This is operator 1400.
It's a call through New York Relay. She wants to know if we've received a relay call before.
Yes, thank you. Go ahead.
We need to have a party catered for 200 guests. It's a
When you hear New York Relay, a deaf, hard of hearing, or speech-disabled person is calling you. It's not a telemarketing call, so please don't hang up. It could be the most important call of the day.
And you almost didn't take her call.
Terry McSweeney, Elisa Streeter, Chief Meteorologist Steve Caparizzo. You're watching News 10 at 6.
Less than 48 hours after the death of Peter Jennings, another well-known celebrity has announced she has lung cancer. Dana Reeve, wife of the late Christopher Reeve, says she's been diagnosed with lung cancer and is currently undergoing treatment. Reeve says she remains optimistic. She spent 9 years caring for her husband after he was paralyzed in a horse riding accident, and he passed away last year. Reeve says she's never smoked. Well, the American Cancer Society wants to take advantage of the attention now focused on the disease to encourage smokers to quit. Many smokers say while the two incidents are unfortunate, it's not likely to make them stop smoking. However, a few say it's enough to make them think about it. And those are the ones the American Cancer Society says it tries to reach.
I think just from the attention that the Jennings story has gotten today, you know, a number of people have raised their awareness, and I do believe that probably some people will stop smoking as a result of it right now, right today.
In our area, the local office says 200 of its calls received in the past 48 hours were from people who said Jennings' death encouraged them to seek help to quit smoking. Rensselaer County officials will decide tonight whether to ask the federal government for money to help pay for security at the Rensselaer Amtrak station. The legislature is expected to consider a measure that would ask the federal government for funds to boost security. Tens of thousands of passengers use the station every day. The Rensselaer station is the 10th busiest in the nation.
$18.6 million. That's what the Niskayuna School District says it needs to fix 2 schools. The plan to fix up both of the district's middle schools was outlined at a meeting last night. Just over 2/3 of the money would pay for a new heating and cooling system at the Van Antwerp Middle School. The proposal is just part of a plan to fix up all the buildings in the district. That plan could cost taxpayers up to $100 million. Growing pains also being suffered in Schenectady County. The legislature there is set to approve the $200,000 purchase of nearly an acre of downtown land from AAA Northway tonight. The college plans on using the land to expand its facilities. Possible uses for the land include a dorm, office space, and parking. The move will require the Washington Avenue ramp from 890 to be reconfigured.
A big scene in Troy today, and no one is certain exactly why it happened. Troy police pulled over what they are calling a suspicious vehicle near RPI when one of the people they were questioning took off on foot. Helicopters and U.S. Marshals were brought in to search for the person, find out why he ran. Well, he was not found, and police called off the search. A second man they were questioning is still in police custody, but no charges have been filed. There will soon be nearly 150 more state troopers patrolling highways here in New York. The new troopers graduated from the State Police Academy and were honored in a ceremony held at the Empire State Plaza in Albany today. The troopers will, of course, be used to fight crime, and that, of course, includes terrorism.
Whether it's patrolling the subways, whether it's guarding the northern border, whether it's investigating murder cases or street gangs or drug cartels or terrorists, you have the most exciting, you have the widest wingspan of any police agency anywhere in America, and that's what makes what you do so special.
The new graduates will report for field duty on August 15th, where they will be trained by senior officers.
The football season is fast approaching, and a few locals are preparing to play in the big leagues. Coming up, Dan Murphy will tell you about 4 guys who are playing big and playing hard.
At least 4 tonight. Most of the showers and thunderstorms on Doppler radar staying to our south will keep the heat and humidity of the complete forecast coming right up.
But first, interest rates pushed Wall Street up. Here are the day's closing numbers.
Discover the difference Baptist Health Nursing and Rehabilitation Center can make for you or someone you love. We are people caring for people.
It's home friendly. The rehab was wonderful. They were all very nice people.
She likes the food. The place is ideally clean. This is the best place that I know of.
They know I'm taken care of. it very well. I would recommend it once, twice, 3 times, and more because it's the best place there is. It's the best place there is.
Your guide to the all-new Hyundai Sonata. It has more standard safety features than any car in its class, like 6 airbags, electronic stability control, and active front head restraints. Plus, award-winning quality backed by America's best warranty. All for $4,500 less than Accord. The all-new Hyundai Sonata, starting at just $17,895. It's a Hyundai like you've never seen before. Lease the all-new Hyundai Sonata for just $199 a month at your Hyundai dealer.
Free is what you'll get at the S&K Daniel Gray suit event.
Because when you buy 2 Daniel Gray suits or trios for $350, S&K will give you 2 cotton dress shirts plus 2 silk ties absolutely free.
I like free.
Birch Hill, the Capital District's largest all-inclusive private picnic park. Whether you're planning a family reunion for 50 people or a corporate barbecue for 50,000, Birch Hill provides the activities, the incredible food, and 60 acres of beautifully landscaped grounds to play on. We specialize in theme events such as Hawaiian luau's, Western hoedowns, clam bakes, and good old-fashioned pig roasts. If a private party at your home or office is what you had in mind, the Birch Hill team will come to you. Birch Hill, bringing people together for over 60 years.
Now, your Storm Tracker forecast with Chief Meteorologist Steve Caparizzo.
We have a nice night, even though it's going to be a little bit humid. At least if you have plans for this evening, it should be in good shape. 80 degrees on our forecast first at 8 p.m., midnight at 73, and at 7 a.m. we'll have some hazy sunshine and 71. So another mild and muggy night. It'll be a tough night for sleeping. You'll probably toss and turn if you don't have an air conditioner, because you open the windows up, there's not much of a breeze to cool the house off. And one other note, it has been extremely dry for the first 9 days of August. We've only had 1/100th of an inch of rain. You probably notice a lot of the lawns, a couple of things, they're not growing, and they're now starting to burn out, turn brown, so we need some rainfall. Not much in the forecast for the next 24 hours. Here are the weather spotters. Fort Hunter, Bob reports 87. It's 87 at Lansingburg. Fairfield, up in Herkimer County, it's up in the mountains, it's even warm at 82. Tim Pierce in North Bennington, 86 to 79 at Beckett. Irene Willusco in Great Barrington, it's humid, and a temperature reading of 84. Dew points right now running in the mid to upper 60s, so that's rather muggy. The dew point here at 66, Boston 65, and low to mid 60s as you head off to the west. So there's not going to be much of a break in the humidity. Clouds are thinning out. In fact, the trend will be for these heavier white clouds off to our south and east to move out over the ocean. That's where we find a few showers, parts of Connecticut, north of New York City, but they'll fall apart. Here's the cold front that we're hoping makes it here Thursday for a little bit in the way of relief. Not a lot of relief, but maybe enough to drop the humidity a bit by Thursday night into Friday morning. So here's our futurecast. Tonight we'll have skies tending to clear out, patchy fog and haze. Should be a nice start to the day Wednesday at 7 a.m. Notice these clouds increasing to the west of us by 5 p.m. A few showers and thunderstorms west of Syracuse. This is that weak front that will be very close to us Thursday morning with a few widely scattered showers or a thunderstorm. Notice the dew points in that sticky to oppressive zone at 7 a.m. The dew point 66 here, and it will be that way all afternoon into the evening. In fact, it may actually go up late Wednesday afternoon. Temperatures this evening in the upper 70s to near 80. Futurecast by 7 a.m. 70 in Albany, 71 at Speculator, Hudson at 73. And for Wednesday afternoon, basically up close to 90 with high humidity at 4 p.m. Albany at 88. Pittsfield a little bit better, 84 into 85 at Manchester. Down to 68 tonight, mild and muggy. And for tomorrow, hazy sun, hot and humid, 89 with the south wind. Here's your 7-day forecast. Chance of that shower or thunderstorm Thursday. Hazy sun otherwise, 87. A little bit less humid Friday, 86. Not bad on Saturday, 88. Slight chance of a thunderstorm. A better chance of showers and storms Sunday, 83. And less humid Monday, partly sunny, and 84. Not bad. Typical summer. Good week to be on vacation.
Looks good to me. Steve, thanks. Well, it is a dream of many, and a few people in the capital region are working hard to achieve it.
Coming up, Dan Murphy will have an update on the big NFL dreams of some local players. Plus, we'll have this story for you.
It is always hip to be in Saratoga during the 6 weeks, but what about a hip number? I'm John Craig in Saratoga Springs. I will have that story coming right up.
At Bassett, create custom furniture that's exactly what you want and get it when you want it. Fast! Bassett's custom furniture sale is happening now, only at Huckfin's Warehouse and More. Save 20% off any Simply Yours living room, 20% off Simply Yours bedrooms for kids, and you pick the colors. Design a Simply Yours dining set and save 20% during the custom furniture sale. Take advantage of special interest-free financing just for this event. Only at Bassett, only at Huckfin's Warehouse and More.
Well, did you get them? Yeah. What do you think? They look great. How do they feel? They feel fine. How long do you have to wear them? Not long.
Hi, Megan. Braces.
Yeah.
Cool.
Now is the time to give your child a beautiful, confident smile. Northeast Orthodontic Associates offers no down payment and payments of $119 per month. Call 1-800-4-BRACES to schedule a complimentary consultation.
Angioplasty with stent.
Chest pain, pressure, heart failure.
All symptoms caused by blockages in the arteries of the heart. Treated non-surgically by physicians at St. Peter's Cardiac and Vascular Center. 24 hours a day. Stents are placed inside blockages, opening new pathways for the flow of blood, repairing damage caused by the blockages.
Advanced technology, rapid recovery, better life.
St. Peter's Cardiac and Vascular Center. Call 1-800-HEART-76 for more information.
We all came with a sense of wonder as standard equipment, a hunger for curiosity that fed our imagination and fueled our passions. Some never lose their sense of wonder. It is discovered and nurtured in ways you can smell, touch, hear, see, and taste. Yes, while some merely shop for groceries, others rediscover their sense of wonder. Discover the wonders of shopping Hannaford.
With NFL preseason schedules getting underway for all teams this weekend, this is a critical time for rookies and free agents trying to stick with their clubs, including the 4 local guys we have in camps this year. Sports Director Dan Murphy is here with an update. Dan.
Well, Lisa, 3 of the 4 players with Capital Region connections expected to see action in their first ever preseason games this weekend, while the 4th Packers 7th-round pick Kurt Campbell will not. Campbell's been ruled out of action due to a calf injury that could keep him sidelined for a while and all but kill his chances of making the team. Meantime, Queensbury's Adam Terry, the Baltimore Ravens 2nd-round pick, said to be having a so-so camp thus far, but the Syracuse rookie remains very much in Baltimore's plans. They are going to work him in behind Orlando Brown at right guard this season in anticipation of Terry starting at that position next season. The Ravens play at Atlanta Saturday night. As for the free agents, guard Matt Chirillo listed 4th on the Cowboys depth chart. The former Colony High standout number 61 there on the sidelines here. Getting plenty of reps in practice. He should have a chance to show the coaches what he's got beginning Saturday night in Arizona. As for Bills rookie offensive lineman Garrett Gudmundsson, word from Buffalo is that he's doing okay in camp. The UAlbany grad 3rd on the team's depth chart at right guard. The Bills play at Indianapolis on Saturday night. No big news from Giants camp today. The team held 1 afternoon practice, will be in meetings tonight. Hudson Valley Community College in search of a new athletic director due to the resignation of A.D. Drew Maricello, who's had that job for the past 8 years. Now, during that time, the Vikings teams have combined to win 31 conference championships. Maricello has accepted a position as associate athletic director at Boston University. Congratulations to him. And an arbitrator has reinstated Texas Rangers pitcher Kenny Rogers, reducing his 20-game suspension for shoving those 2 cameramen to 13 games, so he'll be eligible to pitch again beginning tomorrow night. And that's all for now. Dan Murphy, News 10.
Funeral services were held today for the son of former Buffalo Bills quarterback Jim Kelly. 8-year-old Hunter Kelly died last week after a long struggle with an inherited nervous system disease that usually takes its victims in their first 2 years of life. Hunter defied those odds and helped his parents raise millions of dollars of research into treatments and cures for neurological diseases. More than 1,000 people filled the church for what was called a celebration of Hunter's life.
Gambling on the horses has taken on a new meaning today. Some of the biggest names in racing are ready to wager millions on horses that could be the future stars of the racetrack. John Craig is live in Saratoga Springs with the story.
Yeah, Terry, who says that on the dark day you don't want to be in Saratoga? Obviously you do, especially tonight, because the action, well, it's not light. It's anything but, as a matter of fact. We are at the horse auctions, and the yearlings with no names, just numbers on their hips, are all getting a look-see from potential buyers, from bloodlines and pedigree to just how they walk. It's all part of the game at the Fasig-Tipton Horse Auction. This year it's 2-day sale here in Saratoga Springs, and tonight 75 head will be up for sale. We got a primer as to how and what to look for at this prestigious event.
You take a baseball scout. He may not have been a great baseball player, but if he's got the eye for talent, he could be a top scout. So it's that kind of a business. A fun business, too.
This is just like a college draft system. We've got all the potential buyers here. We've got all the veterinarians checking them out, the trainers and the owners. They are inspecting these horses.
We're here at the night of the sale, so it gets a little nerve-wracking, and you always want it to go well, both for your clients and for yourself, and sometimes they like them and sometimes they don't.
That is the game, and it'll happen right behind me through those windows. They bring the horses in one by one. They'll have a hip number, as we talked about. They'll go 1 all the way up to 75. Some will get bid on and bought tonight, and then they'll be out of here in 24 hours. We're told that some will go upwards of $1 million. What were you doing when you were 1 year old? Live in Saratoga Springs, John Craig, News 10.
Comparison's not fair.
Right, not at all. Ankle bracelets that will help track sex offenders in Albany County, and the moving plans of Schenectady's Planned Parenthood.
We'll recap next.
Let's check out the 7-day forecast. A hot one tomorrow up to 89. Could be a thunderstorm Thursday in 87. A little bit less humid. 86 on Friday, and then more heat and humidity on Saturday with a high of 88.
Go for the healthy one with the real meat and veggies.
Don't spend that kind of money on meat.
Cough up the dough. I want firm muscles and a shiny coat.
Save the money. It adds up.
Now you don't have to choose between premium nutrition and a low price. New Dad's Healthy Home Style is scientifically formulated to be highly digestible and is made with whole grains, real beef, peas, and carrots.
Now we're talking.
Yes, sirree.
Dad's Healthy Home Style. Nutrition you can trust at a price you can afford.
Hi, Jake.
Joe.
Joan would love a new kitchen.
This is beautiful.
Being able to choose exactly what style fits her decor.
That's definitely important.
Natural wood cabinets in cherry and oak. Custom countertops of Corian or granite. Everything designed especially for her.
How nice.
When it comes to exceptional home improvement, it all begins with Curtis Lumber.
Like backpacks, and we cannot lie. With the cell phone pocket on the side, those old backpacks were a fashion risk. But can a cool backpack exist? Check this, tricked out with the flyest look, and I'm holding way more than books. Baby, I'm back. I'm back at school, and it's been a little while. I learned, but I learn in style. Look at these t-shirts, denim too, and oh, please don't step on the shoes. Do you like jeans? Yeah. Jeans? Because in school you got to be seen. I'm trying to come back with the hottest look without tapping mom's pocketbook. Baby, I'm back.
Raymore and Flanagan has interest-free financing till 2008.
My banker says he can't match Raymore's financing, but he'll give us free checking.
I'd rather have free financing.
But he's offering a juicer.
Not juicy enough. We're getting no deposit and no interest till 2008, along with savings store-wide on famous brand names and delivery in 3 days or less.
He'll throw in a toaster and a blender.
Great. We'll call him when we open an appliance store. Interest-free financing till 2008 ends 9 p.m. Monday at Raymore and Flanagan.
Explore a world of exotic and tame animals at the Catskill Game Farm. Enjoy amazing wildlife shows and summer fun at the Splash Pad. Make a memory with your family at the Catskill Game Farm. Off Route 32 near Catskill, New York. Open every day.
Your local and national world news update. It's News 10's Rush Hour Recap for viewers just getting home.
Serious questions are being raised about plans around the region to track sex offenders using GPS systems. A plan approved last night in Albany County will only track 16 of 218 level 2 and 3 offenders. Saratoga County emergency crews say they've got big problems with communication systems. In recent weeks, the radio system shut down across the county. cutting rescue workers off from dispatch. County officials say they are working on that problem. Schenectady's Planned Parenthood is moving to a new location. Officials say protesters have been yelling and harassing those walking into the current building. The new facility will have a parking lot and a private entrance. Elisa.
Coming up on News 10 at 11, a bit of a mystery tonight in Saratoga County. Residents say they are being overwhelmed by a mysterious dust that's ruining their property. We'll take a look. Plus, Schenectady's Quackenbush Pool forced to shut down briefly today because of teen violence. The mayor says that will not stop the work they are doing for the community. We'll have that complete story for you. And, of course, Steve's going to keep an eye on the weather for us.
Yeah, hot and humid weather tomorrow. The thing is, it's getting so dry that we need some rain. Maybe a couple of showers or thunderstorms Thursday, but nothing widespread. Things are getting pretty dry around here the past week and a half, 2 weeks.
So if you're talking about keeping your lawn green, it's time to sprinkle it yourself.
Or give it up.
Or take a, give it up. Or some spray paint, or one of the two.
You agreed to give it up, didn't you? We just talked about that.
I'm happy not to mow anymore.
Gardening tips from Steve Campruso. Paint it.
Right.
World News Tonight is next. Good night.
Good night.
On World News Tonight, a national sigh of relief. The space shuttle lands triumphantly, but should it fly again? The commander says she felt perfectly safe. Trying to keep housing prices from getting too high, the Fed raises interest rates for the 10th time in a year. Christopher Reeve's widow is diagnosed with lung cancer. A closer look at the new attention on the fight against the world's leading killer. And the Jennings factor. So many people writing to tell us they will stop smoking because of Peter.
From ABC News World Headquarters in New York, this is World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Good evening, I'm Charles Gibson, and as Peter would say, the news goes on. The shuttle Discovery made a picture book landing today after 2 weeks in space. This mission was called a test flight, and while everything didn't go perfectly, NASA can breathe a sigh of relief that it went very well. 219 orbits, almost 6 million miles of space flight, and a smooth re-entry today in contrast to the flight of Columbia 2.5 years ago. Did it answer the question of whether the shuttle program should continue, and is it worth the risks? Here's ABC's John Berman.
Welcome home, friends.
The mission lasted 14 days, but the picturesque pre-dawn landing lifted a weight hanging on NASA's shoulders for 2.5 years since the Columbia disaster.
And congratulations on a truly spectacular test flight.
Those are great words to hear. We're happy to be back, and we congratulate the whole team.
Commander Eileen Collins made it look routine, as routine as slowing from orbital speeds of 17,000 miles an hour can ever be.
Eileen made it look like a cakewalk.
The only hitch was where it landed. Persistent clouds and rain forced NASA to wave off 4 landings in 2 days at the Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So the shuttle went west to California's Edwards Air Force Base.
All right, Eileen, how do you feel about a beautiful, clear night with a breeze down the runway in the high desert of California?
When the faint white dot of Discovery became visible in the sky, you could see a faint smile on some faces at Mission Control. Leroy Kane was the flight director for Columbia, his agony so visible then. Today, he was flight director once again.
Fido,
go.
Guidance, go. AC, go. Prop, go.
We are back in the human spaceflight business. That is a great tribute to the Columbia crew.
The return to flight was not without problems, primarily the foot-long piece of foam that broke off the fuel tank during liftoff, the very problem that doomed Columbia and that NASA spent $200 million trying to solve.
I cannot imagine the circumstance in which they could present a credible case to fly people on the shuttle anymore.
But Eileen Collins and her crew went this time and clearly would go again, even as NASA ponders the shuttle's future.
And that future is not at all clear. NASA hopes to have some initial answers as to why the foam came off the fuel tank as early as this week. But even with those answers, it will be almost impossible for them to meet the shuttle's next scheduled launch date, Charlie, which was supposed to be the end of September.
John Berman at the Johnson Space Center in Texas. So there are problems still to be addressed, but there is certainly no doubt about the worthiness of the shuttle program in the mind of Discovery's commander, Eileen Collins. Here she is after today's landing in the first person.
It is absolutely fantastic to be back here to the planet Earth. We had a great mission. Being in space, the human side of being in space is something I wish I could share with all of you. Wish I could have taken all of you up there with us. We saw some of the most beautiful parts of the Earth. During day, we flew over North America, Europe, Africa, Asia, Pacific Ocean, Australia. At night, we saw the Southern Lights. I thought about the Columbia crew every single day. Frankly, every day for the past 2.5 years. I thought about them throughout the whole mission, that what their experiences were, that we were having the same experience they had of just living in space. As astronauts, we are people that we like challenges. We accept the challenge and we want to go out there and do this mission. And some people say we should stop flying the shuttle because we had an accident. Frankly, we've had 2 accidents. But we believe in this mission and we're going to continue it.
The Discovery commander, Eileen Collins. The Federal Reserve raised the short-term interest rate another quarter point to 3.5% today, and that's the 10th increase since last summer in an effort to keep inflation from roaring back as the economy picks up steam. And we're joined by ABC's Betsy Stark. This is a drumbeat of interest rate hikes. What's the Fed up to?
Well, the Fed is playing defense, essentially, Charlie, here. You said it before. The Fed is worried about inflation in a strong, healthy economy, especially from rising energy prices and from rising housing prices. So by raising interest rates, it keeps those prices in check. When it's more expensive to borrow money, we tend to buy a little less.
Well, you mentioned housing a moment ago. There is a huge speculative market in housing right now and a boom in prices that they really are firing up. How much is this related to what's going on in the housing market?
Well, a boom is okay with the Fed. It's a bubble that the Fed's worried about. When mortgage rates are so cheap that people can afford to go out and buy houses they really can't afford, that's what the Fed is worried about. When interest rates go up as they are now, you may find yourself not being able to make a monthly mortgage payment. Multiply that by millions of people, and it has ramifications for the entire economy.
So they're trying to keep housing prices from getting too high.
That's right.
ABC's Betsy Stark, thanks very much. President Bush said today he is deeply suspicious of Iran's nuclear program, but he stopped short of threatening sanctions. Iran resumed work at its nuclear facilities yesterday, claiming it wants to produce nuclear energy, not nuclear weapons. European negotiators say if Iran continues pursuing its nuclear program, it could result in punitive action from the United Nations. Prosecutors in Russia have opened a criminal investigation into that submarine accident in which 7 Russian sailors were trapped for 3 days on the Pacific floor. Prosecutors are looking at whether officials overseeing the mission might have been negligent. Today, new details and some dramatic new video have emerged of the British Navy's rescue mission. Here's ABC's Jim Sciutto.
It was a hero's welcome home today for 29 British sailors and the tiny underwater robot they used to save the trapped Russian submarine.
I can assure you a lot of grown men cried that day to see that submarine back on the surface, and I'm sorry, but the emotion is getting to me again.
New underwater video shows the Russian sub entangled in fishing net and cables. The Scorpio robot struggling against the current. First, the robot's operators had to fix its 3 broken cameras and its sonar.
I had no sonar. Obviously, we wouldn't be able to find it. At that point, I did have, my heart was in my mouth.
For a tense 3.5 hours, they fought to free the mini-sub, delicately grabbing, then cutting the nets and cables that trapped it.
You asked me whether or not I was optimistic. I lied. I said I was. I was scared.
Today, the 7 Russian crew members said they nearly gave up in those final hours. Soon after they were trapped, they asked Russian ships to drag the sub out, but were told it might damage an underwater surveillance network. They wrote farewell letters to their families. Today, the British rescuers said the Russian sailors had even less time than they thought, only 6 hours of air remaining before the entire crew would have been lost. Jim Sciutto, ABC News, London.
And when we come back, another high-profile case of lung cancer. Christopher Reeve's widow. The fight against a terribly difficult disease, we'll take a closer look. And later, we'll look at the Jennings effect. Smokers moved by Peter's illness vowing to kick the habit.
World News Tonight with Peter Jennings and a closer look. Brought to you by Aflac. Ask about it at work.
Edgar, that you take the voice of this lovely woman. This is Trump? And put it into this damn. Why? To tell the world the benefits of Aflac with sex appeal. Brilliant, sir. I know. Now throw the switch.
If you're hurt and can't work, Aflac can help pay your bills with cash.
Genius! And her? Aflac!
Pencil-thin figures, healthy bodies, boring multivitamin pills, Biactive multivitamin chews. Delicious chews with essential vitamins women need. Biactive, the multivitamin women want.
Look, Mold, she's about to choose a seasonal allergy medicine.
Pick one of those. You could be suffering in 6 hours.
Choose any of those, you could be drowsy. Allegra 180!
Lasts all day and non-drowsy.
Why did I even pack those others?
Not one of these allergy medicines can give you long-lasting seasonal allergy relief without the risk of drowsiness. But Allegra 180 can.
Non-drowsy Allegra's worked all day.
For people 12 and over, side effects alone may include headache, cold, or backache.
Allegra's gonna work all night, too.
Long-lasting Allegra. The relief goes on.
Lunesta. It's finally here. And people all across the nation are discovering it. When will you ask your doctor about Lunesta?
Me? I'm a problem solver. One problem I thought I'd solved? My acid reflux disease. I thought it was just bad heartburn. But when I went back to my doctor, he told me over time stomach acid had damaged the lining of my esophagus. He prescribed Nexium. Said I needed more than heartburn relief. My esophagus needed repair. Nexium healed the erosions in my esophagus. And one prescription Nexium pill a day keeps me healed and relieves my heartburn. My doctor did say other serious stomach conditions may still exist, and headache, diarrhea, and abdominal pain could be side effects of Nexium. Even the best problem solvers need a little help sometimes.
Ask your doctor about Nexium, the healing purple pill.
We're making choices to keep our cholesterol and blood pressure healthy.
More fish, less red meat.
And a new multivitamin.
One-a-day cholesterol plus, the only complete multivitamin with polycosanol and key nutrients to help maintain cholesterol and blood pressure. One-a-day cholesterol plus.
Dana Reeve, the widow of Christopher Reeve, only 44 years old, said today that she is being treated for lung cancer. And the news obviously resonates with all of us, coming just hours after Peter Jennings' death. More than 172,000 Americans are going to be diagnosed with lung cancer this year, and more than 163,000 will die from it. While Peter smoked cigarettes for most of his life, Dana Reeve did not. With the first part of our closer look, ABC's Bob Woodruff.
How do we build this thing?
Dana Reeve was a professional singer once, but for most of the last 9 years, she cared for her husband, Chris, at his side along with their son, Will, right up until he died last October. Last month, she was diagnosed with lung cancer, but kept it quiet until this morning. Now more than ever, I feel Chris with me as I face this challenge, she said in a statement. I look to him as the ultimate example of defying the odds with strength, courage, and hope. Dana Reeve is not a smoker. In fact, 10 to 15% of people who get the disease are non-smokers. The likely cause, secondhand smoke or other environmental toxins. And among non-smokers with lung cancer, 2 out of every 3 are women.
Clearly, women do have a higher risk of getting lung cancer. In fact, lung cancer in women kills more women than breast cancer.
Doctors believe genetics or estrogen could contribute to that higher risk for women, or the fact that women are generally smaller.
It may be that women's bodies are unable to neutralize poisons or toxins such as secondhand smoke or air pollution, as well as men's bodies. Women's lungs in general tend to be smaller and therefore may concentrate these poisons at higher levels in the delicate lung tissue.
And the tumor's right here.
Awareness of this problem is just now beginning to grow. New public service ads featuring women, non-smokers with lung cancer are meant to counter the perception that this is only a smoker's disease. In truth, many smokers get lung cancer from their spouses. A non-smoking woman married to a smoker is 30% more likely to get the disease than one whose husband does not smoke. The only good news for women is that they generally live longer with lung cancer than men, and they are more receptive to new drugs, Charlie, that treat it.
ABC's Bob Woodruff with some background on this problem. Peter Jennings struggled mightily to stop smoking, a battle that he shared with many Americans, and that struggle informed much of Peter's reporting about tobacco dangers. With the second part of our closer look, ABC's John McKenzie.
When Peter Jennings became a network correspondent in the mid-60s, a trench coat and a pack of cigarettes were standard issue. By then, Peter had already been smoking almost half his life.
I started smoking when I was 13, and I remember very clearly how we guys thought it was the cool thing to do. It never occurred to us for a second that we were ever going to become addicted.
But addicted he was, and he continued smoking for almost 30 years.
70% or more of smokers become addicted to cigarettes. And it happens because of a biological or chemical change that occurs in the brain.
By the mid-90s, Peter had kicked the habit and took what he learned about smoking, about how addictive and deadly it is, and made it a focus of his reporting, including 2 hour-long documentaries.
Mr. Burns?
Hi. Peter revealed the intricate details of how Congress came so close to passing a bill regulating tobacco.
Mr. D'Amato, no. Mr. Campbell, no.
And how it buckled at the last minute.
Without regulation, no one but the tobacco industry has any control over what the smoker inhales.
Peter reported that because smoking causes 87% of lung cancers, and that 86% of those cancers are incurable, Big Tobacco, in essence, was getting away with murder.
It is about the only product that you can buy virtually anywhere which, when used as directed, kills more than 400,000 Americans every year.
There are some people in the tobacco industry today who say that as a result of Peter's aggressive reporting on the tobacco industry, that it made them look at their business differently, and it made them think about how they need to change the way they do business.
To the point where at least one tobacco company today advertises the dangers of its cigarettes.
Cigarette smoking is addictive and causes serious diseases.
John McKenzie, ABC News, New York.
Our closer look for tonight. We'll be back.
People think scientists get inspired by only abstract things, you know, data, theories, petri dishes. Well, I also have Sarah. She's not abstract at all. Sarah was born with HIV. We met in my early days of research. Drug discovery is complex. It takes thousands of scientists working 14, maybe 15 years to develop just one pill. That adds up to about $800 million. It's taken 20 years, but we've gone a long way toward eliminating HIV in children. I've stayed at GlaxoSmithKline because we are committed to beating this disease. Our girl's in college now. Some people think drug research is expensive. I can't think of a better way the money could have been spent. Or my life.
GlaxoSmithKline. Today's medicines finance tomorrow's miracles.
I come from a long line of pillagers, but with so many people switching to Capital One, my family's had to find new jobs. Uncle Rex got hired at an office. My brother Yuri, he works nights.
So what's with this airline food?
You stink! Grandpa, well... And as for Dad, he's saving lives.
For low rates and great rewards, switch to Capital One.
What's in your wallet?
Heartburn's back.
Deal me back in.
You mean out. Tums EX can't keep acid from coming back. Choose the chews that work fast and last.
New Malox Antacid Barrier.
Fast relief plus a long-lasting protective barrier. New Malox Antacid Barrier.
Discover delicious citrus and berry flavors in a very surprising place. New Centrum Silver Chewables with heart-healthy nutrients that emerging science suggests may help reduce the risk of heart disease. The best of Centrum Silver in new citrus berry chewables.
We all wish for good health, but if you're not taking Caltrate, you may be coming up short.
The same Caltrate shown to help stop bone loss has also been shown in a clinical study to help reduce a major risk factor for colon cancer.
Caltrate for bone and colon health.
When you've got heartburn, don't wait a second longer than you have to for relief. Get Pepcid Complete, because nothing's faster. Not Prilosec OTC, not Zantac 150. Pepcid Complete, guaranteed fast or your money back.
We have a report tonight about one new strong measure being taken to combat the epidemic of people using methamphetamines, or meth. The Bush administration focuses a lot of its efforts against drugs on marijuana, but one of the main ingredients in meth can easily be made from common cold remedies available over the counter. So one state, Oregon, is about to become the first in the country to require prescriptions for those cold medicines. Here's ABC's Bill Redeker.
In Oregon, 500 meth labs busted every year, many of them in suburban homes. America's most dangerous drug is undermining entire communities, draining police resources, and splitting up families. 5,000 children in foster care here because their parents are meth addicts.
We believe it's an epidemic. We have every facet of our public and private sector is being stretched to the limit with methamphetamine.
Now, Oregon is taking drastic action, requiring a doctor's prescription for cold and allergy medicines, which contain the key ingredient of meth, pseudoephedrine.
I know that it inconveniences many of our law-abiding citizens, but this is such a crisis.
Like several other states, Oregon already restricts the sale of pseudoephedrine, kept under lock and key or behind the pharmacy counter. Now it will get even more difficult.
They're going to have to pay for a doctor visit, and to get a prescription, it's going to cost them more money just to get Sudafed.
If it means being able to save a generation of our population from having their brains fried, then I think it's well worth it.
Christine Stolbarger agrees. She got hooked on meth, turned to crime, and served 20 months in prison. She lost custody of her 3 children.
Within 6 months, I'd lost my kids, my home, my career, and started doing crime. Within 8 months, I'd already been arrested.
Some pharmaceutical companies are now reformulating their cold and allergy medicines, replacing pseudoephedrine with a decongestant that cannot be used to make meth. And an intense educational campaign has also been launched, with public service announcements produced by students, and graphic before and after photos of meth addicts.
Don't ever use meth. It'll take your children, your soul, your family. It just destroys you.
Police say that by drying up homemade meth, they'll be able to devote more resources to fighting imported meth from Mexico, which already accounts for 80% of the supply here. Bill Redeker, ABC News, Portland, Oregon.
A couple of crime stories tonight in Kingston, Tennessee. A massive manhunt is underway for a prison inmate and his wife who allegedly shot their way to freedom. Police say the man, shackled and handcuffed, was being loaded into a prison van when his wife pulled up behind them and opened fire. One corrections officer was killed. The man was 2 years into a 35-year sentence. And in Brazil, a dramatic bank heist. Thieves tunneled under 2 city blocks, chipped through the concrete floor of a bank vault, and got away with $65 million. The elaborate tunnel, 13 feet deep, started under a house rented by the gang. Police say the thieves spent months digging and fortifying the tunnel. One investigator said it's like something you see in the movies. When we return, Peter Jennings and his legacy. So many emails. Smokers vowing to kick the habit.
This allergy season, ask your doctor about something different. Singulair. While many seasonal allergy medicines block histamine, Singulair works differently by blocking leukotrienes, an underlying cause of seasonal allergy symptoms. And one prescription Singulair helps relieve a broad range of seasonal allergy symptoms for a full 24 hours. Side effects are generally mild and vary by age, and may include headache, ear infection, sore throat, and upper respiratory infection. Singulair, a different way to treat seasonal allergies.
Got gas, pressure, bloating? Tums doesn't treat gas. To treat gas, use Gas-X for fast, powerful relief.
Popcorn?
Ooh. Gas-X beats the bloat, and acids don't.
Ready for school? Good thing Walmart's got everything you need for back to school at their always low prices. So you can get your kids off to the right start.
Later.
Summer's here. It's the perfect time to come into Red Lobster and create your own summer seafood feast. Combine 2 or 3 of your seafood favorites from 10 of our premium dishes. Create your own summer seafood feast right now at Red Lobster.
I promise.
I promise.
I promise to put quality into every vehicle. Like our 8 awards for initial quality.
And 8 awards for long-term dependability from J.D. Power and Associates.
I promise to help protect you with safety innovations.
Like OnStar, StabiliTrak, and advanced airbags.
I promise to build fuel-efficient cars.
20 cars that get 30 miles per gallon.
Or better on the highway.
And I promise to bring you the best cars possible at the best possible price.
That's why we're continuing the GM employee discount on almost every 2005.
And now for 2006,
the GM Total Value Promise. We've lowered prices, added features,
or redesigned over 50 models. So you get more without paying more on the cars and trucks you really want.
It's not a promotion, it's a promise.
Total Value Promise on 2006s.
Employee discount on 2005s.
Either way, it's a great value.
I promise.
To hold things that can make a mess, use Glad ForceFlex trash bags. The only bags with patented ForceFlex technology that stretches to prevent rips and tears. So what goes in doesn't come out. Glad ForceFlex trash bags and new ForceFlex with odor shield. For stretchable strength, get Glad.
Why do you want to be president? The answer is that you want the power to control the universe.
That's not me.
Well, that's the problem.
Gina Davis is Commander-in-Chief. Premieres Tuesday, September 27th, 9/8 Central, only on ABC.
Finally tonight, Peter Jennings was always a bit surprised when someone would come up to him or write and say how much they'd been affected by his reporting or simply by his presence during a major event in the world. Since Peter's death from lung cancer Sunday night, many of you have gotten in touch. Thousands of you have gotten in touch to talk about that connection, and so many of the messages have been about the desire and intent to stop smoking. Here's ABC's Dan Harris.
They've been flooding in, hundreds of messages on our website and in our email inboxes. Pledges to quit smoking in Peter's name. Stacy Perry from Post Falls, Idaho. Immediately after hearing of Peter's death, I destroyed my remaining cigarettes. From Nancy Leichus, Louisville, Texas. I smoked my last cigarette yesterday afternoon. Nancy Ferris from San Francisco wrote us as well.
Sometimes it just takes one thing to make you snap and say that's enough. And that was the point when I was watching that. It was enough.
Many of the smokers who sent us messages are under no illusion about how easy it will be to kick the habit. Kit Herring from Seattle, Washington. To paraphrase Mark Twain, quitting smoking is easy. I've done it 1,000 times. To that, Anna Marevka, a paralegal who wrote us from her desk in Chicago, responds,
every time I want to smoke, I'm going to think of him, and hopefully I won't light up.
Peter's ordeal has not only provoked people to quit smoking, but also to be tested for lung cancer.
Yes, I was a smoker until about 20 years ago.
After he announced he was sick, 1,500 people poured into this hospital in Maryland for experimental early detection tests. One man with no symptoms was found to have tiny tumors, which were removed.
I think if you want to take it as far as to say he saved his life, he actually did. He did save his life.
Those of us who worked with Peter tend to think of his legacy in journalistic terms. The big stories, the high standards, the smooth delivery. But clearly, for many Americans, there may be another living, breathing legacy. Danae Carter from Pensacola, Florida, put it this way, that a lesson he learned the hard way touched other people and helped them live longer, healthier lives is a legacy that I'm sure Mr. Jennings would be proud of. Dan Harris, ABC News, New York.
He would be indeed part of the Jennings legacy. There's a lot more. ABC News has been putting together a special 2-hour broadcast on Peter. It'll air tomorrow at 8 p.m. Eastern. That is World News Tonight for this evening. I'm Charles Gibson for all of us at ABC News. Good night.
Tomorrow, celebrate an extraordinary life. Peter Jennings, reporter. ABC Tomorrow at 8, 7 Central.
Wheel of Fortune coming up next on WTEN.
South Park and Billy Fusillo back at the Huge-a-thon 1000 here in Schenectady. Now, Billy, we use a lot of balloons when we sell cars here at Fusillo Hyundai. Now, I've got a little example of what the difference is, other dealers versus Fusillo, okay? Other dealers, deflated. Fusillo, pumped up
All the time, Tom. We sell cars, rock and roll, no matter what it takes. It don't matter. We sell them, baby.
That's what we're talking about.
Huge-a-thon 1000. Yeah.
Some people have a sweet tooth.
Ranch.
Me? I've got a ranch tooth.
Ranch. 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 Ranch.
I get these insane cravings for Wendy's Monterey Ranch sandwiches.
Ranch.
I mean, it's way out of control.
Tell your stupid ranch tooth, shut up. Ranch.
Wendy's Monterey Ranch Chicken and Cheeseburger. Creamy ranch with bacon and Monterey Jack. Now